You can play it multiple times while folks get back in here.
Can you zoom back just a little bit? Oh, it's there.
Yeah, that's great. So Chuck will go through some outlines.
Yeah, like the bicyclist that is going everywhere. Go over to the front elevation.
That's one.
Yeah, let's look at one first. Okay, there we go. I'm actually going to ask Butler explain some of the elements, architectural elements that were found in the chapel and showed up in the new building.
Sure. So I'll try to be brief and go big picture. I really like the word that's been used over and over again today, which is neighborhood or neighborly. And as we designed, Carson and I, this was a word that we came back to often, trying to connect this building not only to its immediate neighbor of the chapel, but just the context of a campus building that finds itself in a specific place. So as we were designing this and starting to get an understanding of scale, we quickly realized this is a building that is larger both in its width and its height in the chapel. And so the big picture moves that we started to make was as the front of our building came, to the front of the chapel in terms of being in the same plane, we needed to reduce the width and the height of the first bay in order for this building, the new Canterbury House and the chapel, to be able to be good neighbors to each other. So the biggest move that I think we would like to highlight is the fact that as this building approaches the street front, we're getting shorter and we're getting narrower down to that bay window in the front. And that bay window dimension at the front of our new Canterbury House was taken from the bay size of the arched opening in front of the chapel. So we were borrowing dimensionality, we were borrowing scale and proportion from the chapel in order to inform some of the spaces and the organization of the new building. There's also across horizontal lines across from the chapel, we were picking up sill heights from the arched opening of the stained glass to determine what, some of the banding that's happening in the new Canterbury House. We're using the height of the chapel to determine certain coursing and cornices for the upper levels of Canterbury. The pitch of the roof is actually the same to the chapel. We've also decided to just use one single pitch that's in the same direction and the same axis as the chapel. So all of these things together start to reinforce that these buildings are working together.
But this roof won't leak all the time.
And this roof, that will also be a good neighborhood theme, yeah. And the other thing, I guess, taking a step back from the building and just thinking about, the wonderful people we populated in this rendering to show the activity here. We wanted to pull back that brick wall and leave a cleft in the pedestrian way for people to pull off from the sidewalk and have a place to linger. So just as the new gathering space inside of the Canterbury House will be a place to meet, to slow down, to engage, and to do ministry with each other, we hope that at the street front, that's an amenity we can offer to the neighborhood and to the the place that this building will sit, to allow pedestrians to also pull off, take a seat on a bench, smell some flowers, and engage with your site, even if they had no intention to anyway. So I think that if that's good.
I want to point out one stroke of genius, is that they brought the two buildings together with this stone wall clear across the front of the property and then incorporating it into the base of the new building. That really brings the two
Yeah,
together.
just to be clear, there are stairs right here.
Yes, you
So
can't
let's
see
go
the
over.
stairs.
This would be the entrance.
Where's the ramp? I mean, is there a ramp?
The ramp will be where it is now.
The original ramp over here on the left.
Shouldn't there be direct access to the, to Canterbury House itself?
There is on the back side of the
Yeah, on the
building.
back, I'll show you in the,
There'll be direct access, that's where that
The
handicap
handicap part.
parking will be, and so you'll be able to enter, very, very gracefully into that space. From more than one direction.
can't see, so is the connecting space at the back of the chapel then to be able to get directly?
Oh,
to
yes.
More of
so
a
the
side
building.
door.
The fellows kept the new building away from the chapel so that you still get natural light
Can't get low enough.
into the sanctuary.
So there's no covered,
There is, down below, yes, it's
one level.
it's one that goes straight into where the north door is.
Yeah, one of these.
Now let's go to,
Number 3?
yeah, try number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it there.
It's in right in the side door, basically.
Greg, we could also talk about the size of the space between the two buildings as it relates to what they have today.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a courtyard up in front of this. You saw all those arched windows in the previous rendering, but there's gonna be an exterior courtyard. And if I can take a guess at the dimensions of that space, it'd probably be 60 by 60 feet square.
Let's go to
Do you
the,
have a
It
plan?
literally would come to like about right here.
The outside
The
wall,
outside.
the outside wall starts about where John Paul is and goes that way. So there's
Let's go to the-
that much increased space between buildings.
plan view,
Which one?
plan view, presentation, yeah, number 1. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, no problem.
There we go. This is the first floor, ground level. Here's the chapel. And here's the street level terrace. And then the terrace between the new building and the chapel. On Sunday mornings, to go to coffee hour, you come to the north door and into this hallway. And then there are pillars here between the hallway and the fellowship hall. So you can get a perspective. This room is about 1,500 square feet, but only, if you consider that side and this side is 1,200 square feet. The new fellowship hall is about 30 by 60, so we have about 1,800 square feet here, and it will seat over 100 people.
Yay.
And there won't be pillars in the middle of it.
No.
Right,
Yeah.
pillars in the side.
Ironically, there's no pillars down columns.
Yeah, the black things are columns. Yes, from the side. Those are columns, yeah.
So, the kitchen is up there, and the 2 restrooms over there. This is a mechanical room. We have 2 classrooms here for adult education, the nursery, and then there are 4 offices, 1, 2, 3, 4 offices. Here's the library, and the vestry meets here too. There's also a workroom. And then this is the vestibule. It's the entry for the apartments, and this is the elevator that goes upstairs. And this will serve to kind of separate the tenants from the parish work.
When we want that.
Yeah, when we want that, yes.
Are we still gonna have 2 kitchens accessible to us, or?
No, just one.
But it'll be a real one.
Yeah.
Will there be,
Go ahead,
will there
Kathy.
be,
So let's go to
I think Kathy had a question.
will there be stairs to the apartments? I mean,
Yes.
not-
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there has to be.
Right,
I think that's what.
So
this
if you
S
see in the
right?
top left corner, the top right corner,
S
Okay.
means stairs.
okay.
There's actually 3 sets of stairs.
There,
and then the
Yeah,
bottom
actually,
middle.
and then over here.
And then, what did you guys call this, the grand stairway?
Communicating stairs.
Yes.
So or grand stair, that's way more regal than.
That'll go downstairs.
This goes downstairs to the lower level. Let's go to the,
Before you leave that slide though, Chuck,
yes.
is that level, the ceilings are higher, right? Is
Yes.
that- So,
Yeah, the ground
you know,
level
if you remember
ceilings
from
are-
the front elevation, the
right,
windows are quite tall and, that library space should be pretty amazing in
how
terms of.
tall
the
were the
actual-
ceilings?
We could say they're about 12 or 13 feet,
Okay.
that's what the schematic shows.
All right, let's go to the lower.
We don't have time to talk about this now, but point out, we did just eliminate 14 parking spots, just so you know.
How wide is the staircase from the ground level to street level? Right, that one. How big is that? Can it be split into a ramp?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Not having a ramp in front seems really dumb to me.
Yeah, it can be split into.
If it's broad enough, we could divide it, carry it out alongside the greenery, and have a nice three-bank ramp.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm not.
Having to go around the building
Yes,
is
but
not
for someone,
what we want.
yeah, if someone parks, they would come in this way, but you're right.
Now let's go to the lower level.
All right, just go ahead.
Yeah, that's the downside.
All right.
We'll just send Steve out to tell him what happens when you see.
So this.
How many years ago was that? It's like I don't even have that brother-in-law anymore.
Sorry,
the story there, I don't know.
This is the basement.
This is.
Lower level,
Lower
it's
level.
not basement.
Yeah, it'd be like the.
Definitely not the
You're
basement.
right.
Definitely the lower level.
Right, so there's actual windows.
Because we feel like they're the undercraft, is that what it is?
Right.
Yes, undercroft.
We're gonna be here all day.
No, we're not.
So here's the stairs from the upper level, and this is a play area. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 classrooms, a children's chapel, and this is the choir room. And it's, you're gonna have 50 choristers in there.
What's the ceiling height in the choir room?
Probably about, I'd say about what we have right here.
We'll need to look at that.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
And then, this is the lounge for the Canterbury Association, which is right below the library, the main level.
What about the nursery?
Nursery.
On the top floor.
Okay,
That was back over here.
okay,
It's right there.
alright.
Which means you can go right from the chapel across, right to it.
Right.
Much more
It's the
accessible.
same distance, but one door instead of 4.
Right.
Well, and another thing I like about this is there's a lane to the north of the building. If you could stay on that for a second.
Oh, yes, there's a 10-foot between this side of the building
So, right.
and the property line.
So the main thing that Lisa wants to park for is to drop off food. And if you look at,
Let's go back to this.
So it's like a service
Yeah,
drive?
yeah, exactly. So right along there's a 10-foot wide drive still. And the kitchen is on that side of the building, so.
And that's a
and the
mandatory.
fellowship hall is too, so it's actually makes all that sort of stuff a lot simpler.
That's a mandatory setback, otherwise we wouldn't have had it. Probably.
It's good to have.
I know.
The lane is,
Just saying, we don't have no choice.
There's a
Right.
question over here. Is there a door to the kitchen for caterers or whatever?
if there's not, we can put one in.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble imagining what the level is that we just looked at, below the main entrance. Is that roughly where the gray stone is darker?
Yeah,
And
This
it
is
goes,
the lower level.
And those are
Go
the-
back, Jamie.
I'm trying to find, this one again?
The one you were just
is
on.
that the lower level?
Yes, that's the lower level.
So it's a high window, just
Canterbury
like
Association.
Yeah, it'll be
Like this.
It'll be similar to this, yeah.
Got it, thank you.
What's out that Canterbury Association room again, please?
That would be.
That one is the one we didn't mention.
Oh, I mean on the floor, but undercraft plan.
Right here in the lounge.
Now, where's the door to access it?
Right here. Well,
These are stairs right here,
yes, you can come down the stairs and into this room,
or take the.
I'm from the outside. How is it accessible from the
You
outside?
would
well,
come,
there's a
there's a
go back
door
to the-
here,
Go back to the
the top. Yeah,
there's steps. Go to the
Oh, I see, there's a door between that little green bit.
For where the parking lot
There you
is.
go.
From the parking.
There's a door right there.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So you go up there and then back down.
Oh, it doesn't go directly into the
No.
undercroft? You go,
It goes to the
It goes in and down.
library upstairs, and then you go down.
I see, so you would enter and go downstairs, to the undercroft.
But there's something else we need to work out, and, is it the subject of, bicycle parking for the tenants? And is, go back to the lower level, playing ground. There we go. We're contemplating either this room or this room for, bicycle parking.
Inside.
Just for tenants.
Indoor parking.
Indoor parking for them.
How about for parishioners?
Well, let's see, go back to, the main level. I would say that we could put bicycle, racks along here. Also, failed to bring up, there are doors here that come out of this hallway in the, fellowship hall into the terrace here for receptions or
Oh, great.
Coffee hour in the
Coffee
summer,
hour.
we just open them. Yeah, one thing to make, like if you're coming to the office on a weekday, you would enter in this door, right here. And the idea is there would be windows right here so that the church administrator can kind of see who's coming and going and can wave at them, say, hey, I'm over here. This is where you come to meet somebody. Yeah.
So any other questions? Mike?
This comes complete with the sewer line and drainage.
The sewer line that works, yeah, hopefully.
It's a thought.
All the upgrades that they've done along the street.
I do have study materials, so they'll be up here on the